that you actually may not be getting into kind of like an unloyal situation in the future, but your past may come back to haunt you, and it's a good idea that you protect yourself. So that's fact number one. I'm going to dive into cancer straight away, because one of the psyche about men is that when you tell them that if you don't do something, you're going to get cancer, they run away. So then don't let them run away first, and then try to persuade them. The second thing is to get into their guilt conscience to tell them that it's not always sexual activity that actually will transmit the infection. Although we know by far the most common reason why people get the infection actually is through sex. But you need to give them some leeway to think that and having this, if they actually accept the vaccine, they don't feel like they are admitting to that in the future, they might be unloyal to their wife. So that might be an excuse for them to say that, okay, I accept the vaccine, but I accept it because there are other reasons why I might contract the infection. So that is the second psyche that you need to get into your male patient to say that although most people may contract the infection through sexual contact, but there are other reasons why people get it, like hand contact and also close contact. Just like that very young looking 40-year-old gentleman say that he even saw children getting it through hand contact. So that's the second way to persuade your client. How do you give them don't lose face when they accept the vaccine? Number three is actually highlighting costs. That can get really wound up whenever it's going to be expensive. So you tell them that if you protect yourself now, the cost of this in the future is not going to be high. Because you highlight that many men, when their immune system comes down, they get infection, a reinfection. 44% of men who's got genital wart have at least one recurrence. Another 22% have two recurrences. And every time you go and see doctors, you feel embarrassed, you get painful treatment, and it's going to be costly. So you highlight that as a reason why to deter them from actually thinking about not having the vaccine. And also highlight to them that actually men are more likely to get genital wart as compared to women, as the data shows 60% of men are more likely to get it, is because their immune system is lower. So you build your case. First of all, it's a common condition that may have actually infected already from early stage. Secondly, there are not just sexual contact. And thirdly, it's actually quite likely that they're going to get it because their immune system is lower. And only after that, you mention cancer. Because you don't want to scare away your patient straight away. You mentioned that the cancer is on the rise. If the woman keeps getting protected, and you may see situations like oral pharyngeal cancers, you may see situations like anal cancer and penile cancer. And that's when you dwell into the cancer part. Finally, before they even wonder about whether this is worthwhile getting or not, you tell them how effective this is. Because this is always perceived as a woman's vaccine. So they don't know how good it is also for men. You highlight that in 7 months, there is 100% seroconversion. By 10 years, there's more than 90% seroconversion. So you're looking at this as a very effective vaccine both for boys and girls. So on that basis, I think it's a good idea that you persuade your patients with motivation. One of the best motivation actually is to tell them that as a loving father, loving husband, you want to keep yourself healthy. Because when you're ill, how can you be the breadwinner for the whole family? So highlight on that the desire to fulfill the breadwinner's role is important to protect your loved ones. Because that is to get into the psyche of a man to say that you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for the whole family. And that's the way that eventually they will accept it. So in summary, the way I handle my patient, first of all, is highlight that it can happen in any age. It's not just younger people who are not sexually active or not. Secondly, I also highlighted that although sexual intercourse is common way of transmission, but other ways also is possible. I highlighted that there is a risk of cancer and there's no routine checks in order to make sure you don't have cancer. And lastly, the importance of the efficacy of this vaccine and also how they should really keep themselves healthy so that they protect their family. So this is the way I handle my patients, and I really hope that I can get some feedback from you and see whether this is the way or any other way that you can persuade a man who is probably a little bit more stubborn and to actually accept the vaccination.